Now that current Jack vs current Pickle is pretty much confirmed for the future of the Baki manga, which side are you on? Do you think Jack is going to win, or do you think Pickle will claim his third victory against our steroid monster? Let me know down below. Considering the narrative and Jack #1 fanboy here, of course I'll be on Jack's side. However, I don't think the fight will be easy, of course. Look at Pickle's growth since the last time we've seen him. Man has definitely gone through a training arc on his own. Jack has more so stayed the same. Yes, he's got more beefy, but the main improvement is his martial art, his Gyaudo, the way of the biting, making him much more lethal than ever before. And since we'll most likely see the long-awaited return of the greatest kisses in Baki, Jack would probably win that exchange now, considering his titanium teeth and his skill with it as well now. Kakukaro is underrated. He is top 5, at least top 7. So I'm one of the believers that he's extremely overrated. I talked about this in my tier list video, how regardless of his match with Yujiro, it's been so long since then, you can't really argue for him being like relative to the current top tiers. I've been fighting with people in the comment section on this video for quite some time now. If you want to check it out, my full argument is pretty much in that video. But pretty much in short, Kaku's improvements haven't been directly shown like other characters, with the Pickle arc pretty much coming out in 2006 in the manga, with Yujiro's fight with Kaku occurring 20 something years ago with Baki's release schedule. Yes, there hasn't been like a crazy time skip in the manga, but it's been 20 years of chapters, 20 years of serialization for characters, of course, to progressively get stronger. That's what most characters do in the series. They train, they get stronger, they fight stronger antagonists, with Kaku pretty much confirming that he's beneath Pickle early stages of the Pickle arc, so he shouldn't really be relevant now. Yes, he has OP techniques, but saying he's top 5 now isn't really correct. Even top 7, I wouldn't even give him that. Serious Musashi, Demon Back Baki. So as we know, during the whole Musashi arc, Baki did have multiple fights with him, but he didn't use his Demon Back in any of those fights, unfortunately. Of course, since that arc, Baki has most likely gotten stronger, and I would say, considering his current performance being able to destroy Sukune, him unleashing his Demon Back may be stronger than Musashi. Even if you have a look at the Musashi fight against Yujiro, yes, it was inconclusive, but when Yujiro pulled out his Demon Back, that's the point where he actually dropped Musashi in that fight. But do take note, after that occurred, that's when Musashi went 100% serious in these panels here. We don't actually know what would have happened if that hit, but as a whole, I would currently place full power Baki above Musashi. But of course, let me know down below what you think regarding that. But before I continue today's hot take videos, make sure to subscribe for more Baki content. As you can see, that's what I provide on the channel. Pickle has the most raw power in the series. So this is an argument that pretty much stems from that power exchange at the start of the Pickle arc against Yujiro. Something to consider is that if you read the Yujiro vs Baki fight, we got this iconic panel where it pretty much claims Yujiro is the pinnacle of strength now. Maybe during Pickle's arc he was the strongest, but since then Yujiro may have reclaimed that position. However, the argument is kinda up in the air now, considering the arrival of current Pickle and what he currently looks like. Considering his lacking of techniques, Pickle just being the physically strongest and most durable is most likely the case and would make sense considering his character, so I guess I would give it to you, but it isn't 100% confirmed or anything like that. The shitty timeline is proof Yujiro transcends time. I guess the main thing he's referring to is Yujiro meeting all the new presidents when not even like 2 years have passed since like the maximum tournament or something like that. Yeah, I agree, Yujiro does transcend time. Musashi needs to come back, I definitely agree. The way he went out was quite depressing, and he does have the potential to come back considering this panel. So do you guys want him to return? I'm guessing yes, so hopefully we get to see it. Maybe Jack finally getting his chance to fight Musashi, that would be pretty wild. Pickle has the highest potential in the verse. I would say Yujiro and Baki still have more potential than him due to, of course, the Hanma blood, but Pickle being able to like unconsciously or somehow learn some variations of techniques at various points, like Aiki in the middle of his arc and some other things, is pretty much highlighting his potential, then his body or physique more so is just pretty much above everyone else's. So you could say his potential is definitely in the top 5 or even the top 3. But I would say Yujiro having the ability just to get stronger every day is above the likes of that. Yujiro top of the verse, so this is something a lot of people in the fandom still believe. For what we know, it could be the case. For what we've seen, it most likely isn't, or based on feats and showings, as there's very little, you can't really definitively say he's the top of the verse. But considering his appearance during the father-son fight and the impact that little scene had, I guess it's kinda warranted. Man, it came out, had Baki freaking out, had Pickle losing his mind, and had Yujiro start screaming like a madman. So without a doubt, he's definitely strong, like, no questions regarding that. But top of the verse, I'm still considering Yujiro as number 1 based on what we've seen and what we've been told in the series since the very beginning. Jack vs Motorbay was an amazing fight, definitely agree, one of the most underrated fights in the whole series, and I would say it's definitely one of the best fights in the whole Musashi arc. Even if Musashi wasn't involved, I probably prefer Jack vs Motorbay over even Motorbay vs Musashi if I'm being honest. Definitely absolutely peak, the art as well was kinda crazy, and considering we are getting a rematch between these two, it's going to be absolute hype. Regarding this, I don't particularly dislike the current art style, but I wouldn't say it's the best. My favourite is pretty much Son of Ogre, the Yujiro vs Baki fight. Spec above Dorian, I would disagree, but I think it's quite close. After Baki and maybe Katsumi, Hanayama is one of the most gifted fighters in the series. Yep, pretty much agree. Hanayama is pretty much the definition of built different, even Yujiro talks about that. The misconception about him not training is pretty much disproven multiple times. He does in fact train, but not to the same degree as other fighters. He is someone who's just built different, has been built different since he was born, and as such, he is definitely one of the most gifted fighters. Jack will get his demon back and beat Baki in a rematch. I mean, that's the perfect outcome, or at least drawing against Baki and then having his fated match against Yujiro finally, where he would most likely lose and die, but Jack going out, getting respect from Yujiro, and pretty much showing how much of a beast he actually was, would be I guess the perfect ending to his character, and of course the steroid abuse finally catching up to him in his final moments against Yujiro. Just give him a all-out crazy close fight against Yujiro, that's all we really want. Guy should have died to Baki, all he has done since has been embarrassing. If you think about it, he has taken quite a few L's since his first L against young Baki. He did however have that cool moment where he was shitting on Sikorsky, but outside of that it just has been kinda L's. But if you're being fair, his L's have been against, you know, top tier fighters like Musashi and Yujiro as well off screen, so you can't really say too much about him. This is simply an L take. I do hope this actually occurs as well. Oliver getting his redemption against Sukune was great to see. Jack getting his whole super redemption, and now these two fighting one another will be pretty cool, as Oliver is kinda lacking in fights against like the main other cast of characters, being more so viewed as separate to them in many cases. So Jack actually having a fight with him would be pretty cool, or even someone like Pickle having a fight with Oliver would also be pretty badass, as we actually had Baki think about Pickle fighting Oliver during his big match against him during the Pickle arc, which was pretty cool to see. Baki is more goofy than comedy shows. At times it definitely is, and that's why Baki is absolutely goated. Prisoners won't ever come back. Most likely the case, unfortunately. Pretty much saying current Doppo is Prime Doppo, the strongest we've ever seen him. That is indeed correct. I talked about this in this video here, and now even most recently with him destroying Keiha and getting thicker than ever before. He's definitely by far the strongest version of him. The idea that Prime Doppo was the one who faced Yujiro and Grappler Baki, or the one who damaged Yujiro, is just silly, and I pretty much debunked all that in my dedicated How Strong is Doppo video. And that's everything for today's Baki Hot Takes video. Of course, everything in here was from the Discord, so make sure to join. Check out the other stuff in the description if you haven't already. And yeah, shout out to these mad lads. That's it guys. Peace.